Okay, this is Julie here for talkSPORT Boxing. I'm here with Chairman of Matchroom Sport, Eddie Hearn. Eddie, we spoke about 14 days ago, and since then the entire boxing world has flipped on it, literally flipped on its head.
Yeah, I mean, as always, you've got to roll with the punches. Good times and bad times. Right now, as I sit and talk to you, it's amazing times. Never quite felt so much support from the boxing world and boxing fans.
Yeah.
And no doubt it will change. But we're enjoying it at the moment, and we're just enjoying the soap opera of boxing. I think people, you know, even with it, this stuff was massive. I mean, the Aspinall announcement last night, and it's just like we live on these moments as fight promoters. We live on the hype, we live on the narrative, the storyline, and this storyline is probably bigger than anything you've seen. And you know, within 1 week, you've had Dana White calling me a pussy multiple occasions. He's offered to fight me last night.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty wild,
Do you
really.
accept?
Of course I accept. I'm never going to say no, am I? But I will say, just to sort of protect myself a little bit, he actually looks quite decent. I've seen a bit of footage of him. You know, when you guys call me out, like, would you fight Simon Jordan or would you fight Shalom? Or like, obviously I go, yeah, like, I fancy destroying those people. I might not win this one, but I'd have a good go. And I'd make an absolute fortune because it's huge. So obviously I'd do it, you know.
I will say the internet at the moment are saying it's 1-1 in the war between you and Dana White.
Oh, right, yeah. Listen, this is going to be, in a couple of years' time, it could be 462, 391. It's not, to me, but it's not going to be, like, this isn't a 1 week wonder. This is going to be a long, drawn-out battle. Look, for me, it doesn't have to get personal. We're passionate about what we do. Like, I heard him say, you know, oh, Eddie was just out there going crazy. No, I was just responding to what you said, which was we don't have any vision. You know, we're one of the problems in boxing. I mean, I was just quite shocked. So, but that's because we're passionate about what we do. It's nothing personal. And yeah, the Conor, like people talk about this Aspinall sign and say, oh, was it just a revenge mission for Conor Benn? It's got nothing to do with Conor Benn. It's about Dana White. Okay. And by the way, this is about us creating an agency which is going to be a big part of our business. But the timing of it, with the narrative, as I explained to Tom, blows it up to grow the profile of not just for us, the agency, but also Tom Aspinall. Okay. Right now, in 24 hours, Tom Aspinall's profile is bigger than it's ever been. And guess who will benefit? The UFC. Because if we do the right job on him, by the time he fights again, he's going to be massive. So they're going to make even more money. So, you know, it's going to be an interesting process from here.
So if Conor Benn doesn't sign to Zuffa a couple of weeks ago for 15 million and the whole outburst of support for you, but just in general online, would you have started Matchroom Talent Agency?
Yes, for sure. Those conversations have been going for ages, mainly around football. Okay. You know, you've heard that before with AJ, and you know he'll be involved in this as well moving forward. So, but I just think we're so well placed to represent people with extraordinary talent. Like, I've been a sports agent. I say I started my career, did it for years. We now, over 40 years, have dealt with every kind of situation. We've dealt with every sponsor in the industry. We've dealt with every broadcaster. We've dealt with every, you know, fundamental of a media team, PR team, social, digital, legal. We can offer every bit of support. We're passionate about what we do. We fight for our clients and we get you paid, right? Yeah. So how can we not be the best agency in the world? And, you know, Tom is our first client, if you like, in that respect.
I'm slowly understanding what Matchroom Talent Agency is. Could you give us a brief overview? Because I'm still obviously...
Well, it's a management company. I mean, ultimately, it's a management company, like any sports agency or athlete representation company, that is representing fighters, players. I mean, we're not limited to sport. As I said, we're limited to extraordinary talent. If you're an actor, if you're a musician, you know, we want to work with you. But as I said, we understand every asset of business. Mm-hmm. And I think we'll be extremely competitive in the space.
I know Simon Jordan, it came up online again, resurfaced when the lawsuit came out, and obviously the Conor Benn deal was agreed with Zuffa, the one-fight deal for 15 million. He said that you and Frank were glorified agents. And now that the talent agency has been announced, some people online are suggesting that is coming to fruition with this announcement. What is your response to that, Eddie?
Well, we're not an agency in boxing. We won't work in boxing in the sense of management of a fighter's career because it's a massive conflict of interest. I mean, firstly, we can't do that in America because of the Muhammad Ali Act. But secondly, in the UK, we just wouldn't do it anyway. I mean, my job is to go in and get the maximum value for my client, i.e. Tom Aspinall, with the promoter, which is Dana White. So what would I do? Sign Anthony Joshua and have a conversation with myself about what AJ is going to get paid? It doesn't work like that. So, yeah, we're not glorified agents. We are a massive sports organisation that has added an agency arm across sport and entertainment.
How and what are you going to build with Tom Aspinall? I'm a UFC MMA fan, so I understand the power that you have, and I asked you on stage there as well. He has a lot about him that can be marketed, and you're obviously the right guy to do that. What are your visions? What's your plans?
Well,
with Tom
firstly, I
Aspinall?
saw a guy that, for his achievements and for his standing and title as the undisputed UFC heavyweight champion, he doesn't have, firstly, the mojo, because it's been beaten out of him, right, by the industry. But secondly, the star power that he should have and the potential that he has. So, you know, for me, all of a sudden, I met a guy that was a little bit beaten down, right? And I said to him, fucking puff your chest out, son. Get your head up. You're a superstar. Oh, am I? And I even see him today. He's changed in 4 or 5 days, right? He's got an incredible team of people behind him, but which was mainly built by his dad. Just a couple of people. That's his team. Whereas he should have a massive machine behind him and a mouthpiece. And I'm the mouthpiece. Now, I said to him, you won't have to say too much a lot of the time because I'll do the talking for you. But he feels like no one's been talking for him. And no one's been supporting him during this process, where I feel he kind of got chastised to the point of trying to make people think that he tried to find a way out of a fight and, oh, there's nothing wrong with it. He's had 3 eye surgeries since. If you watch that back in slow motion, he literally had his eyes gouged out during that fight. And you know him. He's a tough fucking man. Excuse my language. But he's there's no quitting him. He'll fight anyone. And I think the fact that he was kind of just put to the side and the organisation questioned, you know, his fighting spirit, I think that he feels, you know, he was very, very upset by that.
What do you make of kind of fighting Regis Prograis on the Makhmadov and Fury undercard?
It's a good fight for 15 million. Do you know what I mean? It's not, you know, obviously he's coming off the back of 2 really big fights, so it's a bit disappointing in that respect, because all I wanted to see him do was to win a world title. And I said to him, you can fight Lewis Crocker, you can fight Josh Kelly, you can fight Rolly Romero, and how amazing would it be if you won a world title? But Conor's changed a lot, and the thing that matters the most to Conor Benn is money. And I'm not going to hate on that, but so therefore it's a good deal for him. But, you know, as I said before, the disappointment wasn't that he took the deal. The disappointment was he never discussed it with me. Do you know what I mean? That was the disappointment. And by the way, if we couldn't get anywhere near it, or we could, you know, TKO say Turkey's paying for it, not us. But TKO are also saying on an investor call, which you really can't lie on, that they are the promoter of Fury Makhmadov. Are they? That'd be interesting.
Will you work with Conor? He's offered for you to be in his corner.
He hasn't. I mean, you know, that's like, in what capacity? I mean, what he did was he offered me a few quid to be nice. Do you know what I mean?
Does that mean? What was said?
Just, you know, I mean, look, and you don't have to worry about that because that's not my game. I'm not going to come out and start slating him and, oh yeah, well, he did this and he did that, and it's done. I'm just disappointed. That's all. But there's no conversation. How can we be part of the team? You haven't even spoke to me. What do you think? I'm just going to pop up on April the 11th in your changing room and go, oh, mate.
So if he wins comfortably, let's say, eyes the world title shot and says, I've got my 50 million, Eddie, I want to work with you again. What's your response?
There'd have to be a conversation. Like, it's not, we're never going to go, it's not going to be like, Eddie, I'm back, you know, let's go. You'd have to get over the disappointment of what he did. But maybe he don't care. So I can't speak on his behalf. You can ask him all the questions on Fight Week.
Is that a strength of you? You don't usually put business, and although it's different, and you've said...
I'm very good at getting over things, and I'm very resilient in that respect. On this occasion, I lost kind of a little bit of understanding of life. Do you know what I mean?
Wow.
Like, boxing's quite unique in the respect that it's not like it, but I was just like, how? How, like, and the mad thing is that I don't think he thinks, because he's got carried away with the whole thing that he's actually really done anything wrong. I mean, the fact that, everyone around him knows what he's done. But some of them have the balls to say it, and most of them don't have the balls to say it because they're yes men.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But, it is what it is.
Okay, let's just end off. George Liddard, Tyler Denny, fantastic fights.
Yeah.
On DAZN, obviously, coming up.
I think that right now, George Liddard is one of the most exciting fighters in world boxing. And I said this after his last fight. When he stepped up and fought Kieran Conway, he's a very, very good fighter. He'd become the youngest ever winner of the British and Commonwealth titles. And, he did it quite comfortably. And I think there's so many more levels to George Liddard, who works very hard, who's very young. And I think he's establishing himself as a world-class middleweight, building a great fan base. And we need to bring that young blood through into star status. And that's what March 21st is all about, the Copper Box with George Liddard.
Eddie,